Okay, so what if I told you that you could build a super powerful AI assistant and you didn't have to write a single line of code to do it? Well, OpenAI just dropped a new tool called the Agent Builder that promises to do exactly that. And let me tell you, this could seriously change how we all create with AI.
No, seriously, just think about that for a second. Imagine you're designing this really complex AI workflow, right? Connecting all these different skills and tools, but you're doing it just by dragging and dropping boxes on a screen, like you're drawing a flowchart. That's the whole idea here. It's that simple.
So, what's this really all about? At its core, the Agent Builder is all about tearing down that huge wall between having a great idea for an AI and, actually building it. That whole barrier of needing to be a coder, yeah, this tool basically just evaporates it. What you get is this visual canvas, and on it, you connect these little building blocks, they're called nodes, to create a workflow. It's like a digital Lego set for AI brains. You just snap the pieces together, and that's what makes the whole process feel so natural, so easy to get. Okay, so how does this whole thing actually work under the hood? Well, to really get a grip on the Agent Builder, we've got to look at the toolkit that powers it all. And OpenAI is calling this the Agent Kit. The Agent Kit is basically your all-in-one system, and it's broken down into three main parts. First up, you build your agent, with that visual interface. Then you deploy it. You can use their tools like ChatKit to pop it onto any website or app. And finally, you optimize it, using built-in analytics to see how it's doing and make it better. So build, deploy, optimize. The whole package is right there. All right, let's talk about the actual building blocks, the nodes you'll be using. First, you've got Guardrails. Think of these as a safety filter for your agent. Super important. Then there's File Search, which is just an insanely simple way to give your agent knowledge. You just upload your documents and boom, it knows things. You might have heard of this as RAG. And then there are MCP servers. Now, this is the key to letting your agent actually do stuff out there in the real world. And these guardrails, they are so much more than just a simple bad word filter. We're talking about building professional, secure AI here. You can use them to block sensitive personal data, you can stop jailbreak attempts, and you can even prevent prompt injections. And it stops them before they even get to the model. For anyone building a serious business app, having this kind of trust layer built in is, well, it's a total game changer. Okay, enough theory, right? Let's make this real. We're going to walk through a quick build right now just to show you how ridiculously simple it is to get one of these agents up and running. So check this out. To create your first basic workflow, it's literally this simple. You drag a start node onto the canvas, you add an agent node, and then you just connect them with a line. That's it. In like 2 clicks, you have the basic skeleton of an AI agent just sitting there, waiting for you to tell it what to do. So what's next? You give it a job. You just write a prompt, exactly like you would in ChatGPT, telling it what you want it to be. So, for example, you could say, hey, you're an expert on the AI Foundation's YouTube channel. That one simple sentence defines its entire personality, its whole purpose. But wait, how does it actually know anything about the videos? This is where that file search node is so powerful. You literally just upload a folder full of video transcripts, and OpenAI handles the rest. It automatically reads them, understands them, and turns them into a searchable knowledge base. It's like you're instantly giving your agent its own private little library to pull information from. And you can start building some surprisingly complex logic, all visually. I mean, get this. You can give one agent 2 different knowledge bases, one for AI foundations and another for, say, Productive Dude. Then you just tell the agent to first ask the user which creator they want help with, and then it'll route the question to the right knowledge base. You're basically building a simple multi-agent system just by connecting a few boxes. It's wild. Okay, so our agent can now answer questions based on documents we gave it. That is super powerful, don't get me wrong. But the real game changer, the thing that takes this to a whole new level, is when an agent can go beyond just knowing stuff and actually start doing stuff. Because, to be truly useful, an agent has to do more than just spit back facts. It needs to execute tasks. It has to be able to interact with other apps, call APIs, take real, actual action out there in the digital world. And that is where these MCP servers come in. The best way to think about them is like a universal adapter for your agent. They are the bridge that connects your little AI brain to all these other tools. So, for example, you connect it to something like Zapier, and all of a sudden, your agent can update a Salesforce record or fire off a custom email, all by itself. This opens the door to some truly mind-blowing stuff. Take the Giga Agent example they showed. Here's how it works. First, the agent finds a tool. You ask it for the price of Bitcoin, and it goes out and searches the web to find a free crypto API. Second, it understands the tool. It literally reads the API's documentation all by itself to figure out how to use it. And finally, it executes. It uses what it just learned to call that API and pull back the live real-time data. I mean, think about that. It is finding, learning, and using tools that it didn't even know existed just a few moments before. That's incredible. Okay, let's take a step back and zoom out for a second. What does a tool like this really mean for the entire AI and software world? Because this isn't just some cool new feature they added. Oh no, this is a major, major strategic move by OpenAI.
And probably the best way to understand their strategy here is with the classic Apple versus Android analogy. See, OpenAI is building a totally closed ecosystem, just like Apple. Every single piece, the model, the builder, the deployment tools, it's all designed to work together perfectly, seamlessly. Now, the competing platforms, things like N8 On or Make, they're more like Android. They're open, they're super customizable, you can plug in any tool you want, but all that flexibility, it often comes with a lot more complexity. So if you're an AI agency or a developer, this platform is a massive, massive win. Why? Well, it makes development way faster and cheaper. It lets you build these beautiful custom interfaces for your clients using their chat kit. And it gives you a whole suite of professional tools for managing and optimizing your agents. It's basically everything you need to go from a simple idea to a real deployable business solution all in one spot. And then there's the cost. This is a big one. Because you're building directly inside OpenAI's ecosystem, you completely cut out the middleman, those other platforms that mark up the API calls. What that means is you're paying the raw direct cost from the source, and that could be as little as 1/5 of what you might pay using other agent building services. That's a huge saving. You know, all of this, it leads to one massive question. As these no-code platforms get more and more powerful, empowering AI to reason, to find its own tools, and to execute really complex tasks, are we looking at the beginning of the end for traditional coding? I mean, is the future of building software going to be less about writing thousands of lines of code and more about becoming an orchestrator of intelligent agents? It's a pretty fascinating thing to think about, isn't it?